I do worry about AI, actually.
It's the first technology in history that can make decisions by itself and can create new ideas by itself.
I think it's going to be a great thing, but I think it's not going to be all a great thing.
In November 2022, the American firm OpenAI launched a new version of its artificial intelligence assistant. It could provide well-written answers in a range of styles, long or short, formal, informal, or something in between. It could answer almost any question you could ask. ChatGPT, as it was called, had 1 million users within its first 5 days of being available, and became so widespread that within a couple of years it had been banned by 8 of 24 Russell Group universities. When we hear the words artificial intelligence, we might think of a scientist creating a monster or a dystopian movie about the robots. We regularly hear experts calling for more research or calls for those working on it to slow down. But artificial intelligence is already all around you. Alexa and Siri live in our homes. Your Face ID unlocks your phone. The ads we see on Facebook, the recommendations we're given on Amazon and Netflix, they all come from AI. So how does it work? And what should we do and think about it? Artificial intelligence mimics human intelligence, just as the human brain is made up of billions of connected neurons. In AI, billions of transistors connect to one another through a microchip. Collect enough data, and you get something which simulates intelligence. There are different types of AI. Discriminative AI sorts information into categories. Generative AI, like ChatGPT, can create new content for itself. If you ask it to describe a tree, it can do so because it has analysed words that commonly follow each other in millions of similar sentences across the internet. Currently, all forms of AI are known as weak AI. That means they do not actually have intelligence, they just simulate it. Strong AI is a form of AI which would actually have intelligence, and that doesn't exist yet. Scientists are divided as to whether it ever will. Research from Forbes indicates that 59% of Brits have concerns about artificial intelligence. So as Christians, what wisdom does the Bible have as we think through these modern questions about technology and what it means to be human, and even about the end of the world? Well, some today think technology is an unadulterated good, and we should pursue innovation simply because it's future. Others treat technology with suspicion and fear its impact on the world. But technology, like artificial intelligence, is not inherently good or evil. It is the human heart which determines its impact. We know that as humans, we have been given the job of cultivating the earth. Fill the earth and subdue it, God said in Genesis 1. As humans, we follow in God's footsteps, bringing order out of chaos in the world around us. And technology helps us to do that more efficiently. But we also know that our world has been impacted by sin. We read of Tubal-Cain's development of technology in Genesis 4. And in the chapters that follow, technology is sometimes used for good, so to save Noah and his family. Sometimes it's used for evil, as men build the Tower of Babel to try and become like God. It's similar today. AI can be used for immense good, at finding patterns or transforming fields like medicine. In 2023, The Guardian reported that a new AI tool was raising the success rate in identifying cancerous nodules in the lung from 67 to 87%. But it can also be used for evil. for surveillance, like with the Uyghur people in China, for disinformation to mislead voters during elections, or in deep faking and creating pornographic material. It is the human heart which determines whether AI will be used for good or for evil. But AI does raise other questions about our identity as humans, in areas like the workplace or in our relationships. A robot, as much as it might sound like a human, is not a human. And things like employment or friendships are key to who we are. So take the workplace. Humans are created as workers. In Genesis 2, we read, "The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it." So work is part of how we are designed. Now, 1 in 6 UK organisations are currently using AI, and it can improve efficiency and output, and that is a good thing. But there is a balance. The government estimates around 7% of existing UK jobs could be displaced over the next 5 years. That may rise to 18% after 10 years, nearly 30% after 20 years. Or what about living in community? Children grow up believing that Alexa is part of the family. We speak to chatbots from the bank rather than to humans. We miss out on everyday interactions. It is not good for man to be alone, God said. But he did not create a robot. He created a woman. We are built to live in community, and robots and humans are not interchangeable. Forgetting that takes us to dangerous places. Headlines of robots being created for humans to have sex with. Or take this marketing slogan from Seance AI. It says, "Here is where AI meets the afterlife and love endures beyond the veil. Start your adventure today and let your loved ones speak to your heart once again." Or think about decision making. AI can compute far more data than we ever could. But efficiency and ethics are not always the same thing. John Lennox put it like this: "The big question to be faced is, how can an ethical dimension be built into an algorithm that is itself devoid of heart, soul, and mind?" Humans have God's breath of life inside them. We are made in the image of God, the crowning glory of God's creation. Robots can never be anything more than a pale imitation. And what about the end of the world? Well, here we can feel more optimistic, because most scientists don't believe that the doomsday scenarios in the movies are the biggest threats we face from AI. But as Christians, we have a greater reassurance, because we believe in a sovereign God who made this world and sustains it and loves it, and who will one day return and make all things new. "All authority on heaven and earth has been given to me," Jesus said, "and surely I am with you always, even to the very end of the world." Christian philosopher Jason Thacker said about these end-of-the-world scenarios, "Yes, let's have those conversations, but as Christians we're not a fearful people, we are a hopeful people, because the end of the story is already written." Artificial intelligence is here, and it's here to stay. But as Christians, let's have a voice in that conversation, not through fear, but in reminding our world what it means to be human, directing our use of technology for good, and in humility, remembering that we are ourselves created beings. As John Lennox once said, "Man thinks he can become God, but infinitely greater than that is the fact that God thought of becoming human." The life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, those are the most amazing developments in our history. not AI. And that is the story which we need to ground our questions about artificial intelligence within.